Night has fallen and you're weary from travel. Stars fill the sky above, and in front of you is a brightly lit wooden house, the only building you've seen for days. You walk toward the house, hearing the sounds of laughter and talk as you reach the door and push it open. You sit down and join the game. The lady fiddling with dice gets good cards, but has no real strategy. The man in gray across from you, though, he's good. One by one, the other players leave the table, sometimes with pique or with wry humor. Finally, it's just you and the man in gray. He deals, you draw, and look at your hand. But the man in gray pushes forward his whole pile. The man in gray stops you. Now, if you like, I'll let you wager your word. I know you'll be good for it. Yep. 10, Jack, Queen, King, 8. The man in gray smiles. All right.
Well, your luck wasn't so good, was it? That's quite the hand, but not for the game we're playing. I'm afraid you owe me. Your life, sure, but more than that, your labor. You see, this land is built on stories. It's one big story, this country. All the stories and songs and myths and legends start somewhere, with a seed. As to pay your debt to me, you'll be carrying stories. Finding the seeds first and then spreading them, telling them onwards so they can begin gaining strength. Most of the stories you'll find will be small seeds. They might be true, but they'll grow wild and unbelievable with the telling. The more important stories are the true ones, the ones people will tell you about their own lives. The more true stories you can find and tell, the more you can weave that truth into the big story. Now, go ahead. You tell me a story. I'll trade you some information about your task. Travel? That's your job. Wander from place to place, gather those stories and spread them. People get bored hearing the same stories over and over. Your deepest desires? Your greatest wish? Heaven? Big rock candy mountain? El Dorado, the promised land. Well, I don't know where that is. It's supposed to be somewhere in this country. Ask the people you meet. They're all searching for the same thing. It's just luck. Funny how bad luck seems to follow the folks who already have problems aplenty. Well, try your luck out there in this country. See how the dice treat you. It's not all bad. You'll have to work hard, but I'll give you the gift for seeing the true shapes of people. Not many who can do that. You sometimes have to make choices about what kind of story you're finding. Don't gather too many of one kind, though. This I'll strip away your flesh to make the journey easier. Hunger, weariness, thirst, and despair. And death, yes. But don't worry. Go on your way, Seeker. Maybe we'll meet again, or either way, it'll be an experience for you. I'm jealous in some ways. I hope you find what you're looking for.
Ransacked. There's furniture piled in the two heavily armed, mud-caked women leaning over the... You are about to hand her a smoke when those men draw pistols and shove you hard into the... Once they've dumped your bag out into the road, they decide you're harmless. You can't help but come across this package by the old tree, tied to a... You turn your back, but the parcel calls out to you in a whisper.
Pa doesn't want to live with us anymore, but I want to go with him. Don't tell him, please. I'm hiding.
His father must have been here at some point, but you sure can't see him now.
Well, I'm gonna cast my stones o'er the waters of this land, and by I'll see them far and long. 'Cause when the night come down for to take me hand in hand, this will be my tale, my vagrant song.
They don't come every year, you know. The old man is sitting just when the fishing is going to be good. He taps great black. Another year of this town being here, he replies. The woman walks the small town square with the poise of Betty Davis, a confident stride, and in it you question a well-dressed man parked outside an oyster house. Prudish woman, you talk with a waitress smoking outside a diner.
Something funny about her.
You ask the woman if you may join her at a public bench. dusty truck and a man on horseback pull up next to one another in front of the grocer. Suddenly, the man with the truck leaps into the street.
Brother!
He shouts. The one on the horse. Everyone here is watching these two older men cry and hug one another in the middle of Main Street. As you usher them onto the sidewalk, the driver says,
Joe, I thought you were dead.
"This city is like no other you've been to. Crooked streets splay out in a maze, and unable to afford rescue, you keep walking. The asphalt turns to it's hard finding your way through in pitch darkness. You quiet yourself, suddenly fearful. When you come to, there's no sign of the commotion, the war that you were just caught in. Clouds roll together to fill the sky. The lightning is so strong that it seems to open a path in the haze. The thunder is so immense that the ground trembles. Your lip.
Hey there, stranger. You're welcome to enjoy this fire with me, if you're respectful, that is. This here is my spot, and I ain't inclined to share it with any bad characters. These here are my venturing companions. Cass is the big un, and I usually beat my way on the rails, but the road news said this town was fat, and the weather was fine. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor. Ain't life got enough tear-jerkers in it without telling stories like that? Freedom. Well, teacher used to talk about freedom like America was eat up with it. But the tramping kind seems to be just about the only real freedom still. Ain't no freedom from an empty stomach or bad weather, unless I want to hear one of them venturing tales. Got any? That was a chuckle, to be sure. But do you know anything more lively? Well, I don't know a whole lot about the past, but they say there's an Injun grave around these parts. Say it's haunted and full up with angry I used to love hearing stories of cowboys and Injuns fighting it up. Would swap tales with the youngins. But, well, I suppose if someone shot me, I'm in the mood for something real. I don't get too much out of tales that are so cheerful. Not enough excitement for me. What's my future look like? I ain't looking for a traveling companion, if that's what you mean. I do fine by myself, so just stick to minding your own. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murder. Well, that sure was a downer. Give me a good venture tale instead, and sad. Oh, so you think just 'cause I'm young, I gotta be sad. I don't need you looking after me, so if you're offering, don't. And I thought I told you to be respectful. What you really ought to be asking yourself is if you want to keep enjoying my spot or not. Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories. Whoa, quite a story, stranger. This land sure is something, ain't it? I can't wait to see it all. Tramping like I do makes me realize the land's another kind of companion. Maybe things are so depressed because folks lost sight of that. Well, night's over. I think I'll see what's happening up the road this way. Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd gladly listen to more if I see you again. The tramping life suits me just fine. Every day's a venture. With things being so depressed, folks walk around like it's the end of everything. Plenty nice things to see if and you know where to look.
Muddling through the dark, you stumble into the path of the white deer. You know a way out of here. As the hunter's cries get louder, you approach the deer carefully. The engines belch black smoke as the ferry churns gray water into froth. The man gives you a once-over as you approach. His newsboy cap is... The man shrugs.
Maybe somewhere else. You look like you get around.